Aloha. It's been a little while since I did a video, but I do what I want. So I felt a desire to do a little video after hearing the gospel for this weekend at Mass, and it's the story from Mark about Bartimaeus, who is blind, and he doesn't want to be blind anymore, which is a good desire. What do you not want to be anymore? Deaf, dumb, blind? You want to hear the truth, understand and speak the truth, see the truth? Or are you satisfied with where you're at? I hope not, because that's dangerous. I was thinking about this after Mass, and I was like, man, this is absurd. Like, this whole gospel, Mark, is like filled with people asking Jesus to do things for them and Jesus doing things for them. And ultimately, I think the thing he wants to do for us is everything. You know, apart from him, we can do nothing, he says in John. And I think that we just don't really believe that enough. So I think it's because we're blind and we're deaf and we're dumb, and he knows that, and he's patient with us, and it doesn't mean that he doesn't have compassion on our weakness. I think he has more compassion on our weakness than we do, and certainly more than we do on others. So here's this blind guy, Bartimaeus, who's crying out to Jesus as he's passing by. Son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus doesn't respond the first time. I wonder why. Probably to increase Bartimaeus' faith. I wonder if, like, Jesus, he hears it the first time, and I wonder if he kind of like smiled to himself, you know? It's like, come on, Bartimaeus, you got this. And so Bartimaeus calls out again, and people by that time are like annoyed with Bartimaeus. They're kind of tired of hearing Bartimaeus cry out to Jesus, and they're like, no, like, we want Jesus to do things our way. Like, stop. He doesn't care about you. He would have responded the first time, so just stop. But Bartimaeus knows better. And after that second calling out, Jesus says to the disciples, call him. And they're like, okay, take heart, get up, he's calling you, you know. So he throws off his cloak, springs up, and comes to Jesus. And Jesus, again, I wonder if he had a bit of a smile on his face, says, what do you want me to do for you? Maybe smiling at the blind man. Maybe Jesus is smiling at you and you don't see it. And he says, what do you want me to do for you? So the blind man said to him, Master, let me receive my sight. Let me receive my sight. You know, it's like, I like the wording of that. This translation, it's the Revised Standard Version, Second Catholic Edition, and it really tries to be more like faithful to the literal translation of the ancient Greek text. And I just wonder if there was something in Bartimaeus that knew that his sight was a gift from God, and he's asking that it would be restored to him, that gift. Let me receive my sight. Sometimes we think that our gifts and our talents and our blessings, we're like entitled to them. And sometimes God just, you know, lets us stay in that attitude, which is like a punishment. I think the greatest punishment that we can get for our sins and our bad attitudes is when God lets us persevere in them, even when other people maybe try to point it out to us, or things happen in our life that rail up against us. Maybe our hurt pride and, that sense of entitlement. But not Bartimaeus. He knows he's not entitled to Jesus answering his prayer, but he perseveres, and Jesus likes that because it demonstrates faith. Master, let me receive my sight. And Jesus said to him, go your way. Your faith has made you well. And immediately he received his sight. And what did he do? Bartimaeus followed him on the way. So Jesus says, your faith made you well. Go your way. And Jesus then has a new disciple. So the way for Bartimaeus was following in the way of Jesus. He receives his sight, and he never wants to lose sight of Jesus, so he follows him. What has God given you? And do you feel entitled in some way to receive anything from him, from others? It's absurd when we do that. So maybe we can ask Jesus, what do you want me to do for you, Jesus? You've given me everything. What do you want me to do for you, Lord? So, just a thought.